Pack Nation, what is good? It is your boy DJ Eastwood, running back Philly. No frauds, no fanboys, no intros. Here's what you need to know. James Harden was a full participant at Sixers practice today in Colorado. A full participant, which included 0 antics per Woj ESPN. Now, this is funny that Woj just tweeted that, because Woj is the one that was on ESPN saying James Harden is determined to show up to Sixers training camp and be disruptive, and be so disruptive that they feel like they're not going to get the best out of him and that they should trade him. He's the one that said that on ESPN. And I said, it's coming from Harden's camp. Woj is a spokesperson for Harden's camp. And they were trying to threaten the Sixers organization into trading him before he showed up. Like I said, he has no leverage. They were legitimately saying, all right, fine, he'll come, but he's going to be a big distraction. He's going to be a big distraction. It's not, it's going to be ugly. There was people on podcasts and, all these NBA writers and stuff. Who knows who's paying who to say what. There was all these guys talking about, it's going to get ugly. It's going to get, what's it going to be, a bloodbath? What can he do? What can he do? I just said it on the live. I was like, what can he do? He's not a Unabomber. We're not afraid of him. The Sixers are not afraid of you. Threaten all you want. We can fine you. We can suspend you. We can send you home. We can suspend you again. We can fine you again. We can cost you millions and millions of dollars. You have no choice but to play. So all those empty threats by Woj reporting and everyone else, it's just funny. And now Woj is like, oh, James Harden was a full participant in practice today. 0 antics. Yeah, no shit. Because he has to. It's interesting. It's very interesting. You had the Nick Nurse saying, like, we've been practicing with this team, without James for a while. Now he's there. So now you have to implement him into the offense. It is interesting, and I am not quite sure how that's going to work. People are, sending me screenshots of James and saying he looks in shape. I didn't expect him to look like Robert Tractor Trailer, bro. You know what I mean? I didn't expect him to weigh 300 pounds. Just because he doesn't weigh 300 pounds does not mean he's in shape, first of all. His conditioning, we're going to have to see what it's like. I like the fact that they're in Colorado, and I like the fact that Nick Nurse is preaching conditioning and being in shape. But he was there. He was a full participant. There were no antics. James Harden has officially conceded. He's conceded, bro. It was all talk. It was all smoke. It was all, all bark, no bite. It's like my dog. James Harden's like my dog. She barks at the Amazon person very aggressively, but the Amazon person can walk straight up to her, and she ain't doing shit about it. That's what this was. So, Nick Nurse was interviewed after practice, and he said, and it looked painful for him to say for some reason, or it looked like he was lying. I don't know. It looked odd, his facial expressions and stuff while he was saying it. It sounded like somebody told him to say it, because it doesn't sound like what you really know from James Harden's history. But Nick Nurse basically said he was here. It was great. He was preaching accountability, and he was preaching hard work and dedication. And I'm like, what? And Nurse was just trying to make it sound like, he's locked in. He's fully locked in. He's ready to go. And it's in the Sixers' best interest to be reporting things like that. It's in the Sixers' best interest for Nick Nurse to be saying things like that. Because if you do want to trade James Harden, if you do want to get his trade value up, you need the Clippers to think that he's locked in and he's ready to play. So, yeah, the Nick Nurse was saying that. I just laughed out loud at the accountability and dedication thing when it comes to James Harden, one of the least self-accountable, dedicated players I've ever seen in my life. When he's good, he's good. When he doesn't care anymore, you know what I mean? He doesn't care anymore. So it's funny, that Nick Nurse was saying that, but it's in the Sixers' best interest for them to say that. At this point, it feels like they are advertising James Harden. At least that's what I got from Nick Nurse after this practice. It feels like they are advertising James Harden to the rest of the NBA. Maybe they had a meeting and said, listen, James, we can't do anything for you if you don't show up and play. We can't trade you now. Well, what are we supposed to do? We can't. You have to increase your trade value. Actually, what James Harden did today is what everybody thought Ben Simmons should have done, is what Ben Simmons should have done when he was going through the situation. Because we were like, bro, your trade value's in the dump. Your trade value's in the basement. If you want traded, you're going to have to come in and up your trade value. And Ben Simmons never did that because he doesn't have the balls. He's a big-ass, bitch-ass baby. James Harden at least had the balls to say, okay, you're right. They're not going to budge. My threats didn't work. I'll get traded if I show up, play, and up my trade value. Daniel House Jr. was interviewed, and he was talking about Nick Nurse, and he actually called out Doc Rivers, which is hilarious. Daniel House Jr. straight up said, there's Nick Nurse preaches ball movement and team play, and Doc Rivers was really all about two guys dominating the ball. So he straight up called out Doc Rivers, which is funny. I still think it's interesting, how this offense is going to look with James Harden, Joel Embiid. Yeah, I'm trying to go around you, dickhead. There's cars coming on the other side. What do you want me to risk my life? It's interesting to think about how James Harden and Joel Embiid are going to play under Nick Nurse because they're both ball-dominant players, and Nick Nurse is preaching, ball sharing and ball movement. So we'll have to see. It's funny that Daniel House Jr. called him out like that and called out Doc Rivers directly. And another thing, man, answer in the comments. Because James is going to play. He has to play. So now he's here. Now he's going to play. Answer in the comments. Do you think Philadelphia is going to boo the hell out of James Harden? That's going to be the craziest part, because when we thought Ben Simmons had to come back, we were like, yeah, he has to come back. When he does come back, Sixers fans are going to boo this guy all season long. That's why I thought Ben Simmons couldn't come back. Is Philly gonna boo Is Philly gonna boo James Harden all season long? Imagine how embarrassing that is as an organization. That every single time your point guard gets introduced to the crowd, they boo. I still don't get it. I don't know how it's gonna work. I still wouldn't be shocked if a trade goes down before the season starts. I think that's ultimately still the best thing for everybody, is a James Harden trade going down before the season starts. But it just feels to me like the Sixers are advertising him right now. But he showed up. He showed up. He swallowed his pride. He said, okay, fine, I don't want to lose a bunch of money. They threatened. His camp threatened. Everybody threatened that he's going to throw a bunch of antics. He didn't throw any antics. It was all bark, no bite. And now we'll see what happens with James Harden and the Philadelphia 76ers moving forward. But there you go, man. I'll catch up with you guys soon, bruh. Peace.